Hi, my name is Brenda Bates, Medicine Woman, and
I am Jen Toffel, Medicine Woman.
And we're Medicine Women Reveal. We're so glad that you're able to join us today. We have problems with our mic last week.
It was a big learning curve, learning all kinds of technology.
Exactly, and we have been scrambling around because we only had the weekend, because we did a Friday show in Sepia, and it crackled too, and we found out it's the mic within my laptop. So we haven't been able to really find anything. We bought stuff and then it didn't work. So we're using a webcam microphone that's omnidirectional, which picks up everything, but it sounds muffled and we haven't quite figured it out, but I know it sounds better than what it did.
Right, there isn't the crackle, but then we have to figure out our voice range.
Yes.
And all sorts of things. So we're learning how to use our voice, how to express ourselves.
That's a good sign, and that's a clue. And in as spiritual investigators, that's what we look at. And so we want to be able to express ourselves so you can hear, but at the same time,
we don't want to overwhelm people.
Exactly.
And
there's our second clue. My phone is ringing, and it's the big Pink Panther thing. And it is a sign that says, coming through nice and clear. So thank you for allowing us to be able to express.
And Octarine says, through her typos and everything, we love her. But then it sounds great that we're getting feedback from our audience in many different ways. So that's awesome. We're receiving, so we're giving and receiving, and that's been part of our journey too, is learning that we can give, but are we receiving? And so this is awesome. We have different ways that we're receiving, so thank you very much.
And before we go to our first caller, it wasn't just the clue to answer the phone and saying we're coming clear and in expressing ourselves. I hadn't seen this, and I don't know when it came through, but somebody took a picture of their bruise from an IV. It says, I had an IV there where the heart is because I was dehydrated, even though they drink a lot of water. That's so important because our body forgets how to drink water. It forgets how to absorb. It forgets how to process. And water represents that emotion. Mm-hmm. And so when your body has problems with that, what they're really saying is unable to process the emotions. Now we have to look for a specific time. Bruises is self-punishment. Even if it was incurred by something else, again, everything's a clue.
And the skin also is
protection. It's
protection, but it's also our I just wanted to say vehicle that as we go through life. That's the first layer when we're interacting with people. I mean, the skin does so much. I learned that in many different ways as in my hospital chaplain training, how important the skin is. It keeps. Oh my gosh, the human body is so amazing. I know everybody says that in 1,000 different ways, but it really is. And to understand exactly what the skin does, keeping all this, I call it seeping goo together, because that's what we have. But it's that interaction. So it's also how we face the world and a form of how we're expressing.
So one of the clues is that my daughter had a friend over, and she says, well, here's my dream. And she gave me the dream. And to make a long story short, as she was trying to figure out what the dream meant, which was really bizarre, it boiled down to is that she had her worth, and then she had someone that was controlling over her, parentals, and they were saying, no, you have to do it this way and not your way, so cut out how you express, because you're going to live your life the way I tell you. And so now she's getting to the age where, but I want to know, I love to express, why can't I be me? And so it's about that protection. So when you are emotional, have an emotional process, because the biggest thing that caused her to rip out that part of her creativity was because she wanted love. And it wasn't being given to her. So what do you do when those emotions of feeling rejected, ejected, dejected in every form? How are you supposed to feel about this? And what happens is the emotions are a big clue, because they are how we feel when a chemical peptide has been made. It is the after process, because you have a feeling first before you start to really label it as an emotion, which is energy in motion. But there's a feeling where you are intuitively on every level feeling it. So if you're unable to process, then you have to have an outward expression. If you're good at repressing it, shoving it, finding a new way to do something, your skin usually is a sign saying, you got to protect yourself because you don't have your whole self here. Okay? So it's so important that we understand and build up with what life represents, whether it's body, animals, objects. So let's just take our first caller.
All right.
Area code 305, you're on the air with Brenda and Jen.
Hi, how are you?
We're good, and how are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
How can we help you?
I wanted to get a reading. I guess I have a question regarding love.
Okay, good. Okay, when you have a question, that's more directed because you're kind of expecting an answer. And that gives us help to ask which guides can help you with what you're looking for. So, go ahead and ask away.
I basically want to see what you see as far as relationships coming my way. I have a couple people around me. I have one in specific that I guess I'm more questioning than the others, but if you see any kind of relationship coming for me.
All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to take the first person in question. Okay, stare at that person. Think about that person, because then that gives us a direct line to be able to ask your spirit guides, what is, like, the intention. Now, if we ask, what's the intention from you to this person, and that is you're wanting a way to express the love. Okay?
And is that...
Does it help with his name, or just...
No, you just have to focus on him.
Okay.
And with that person, there's the potential, if you want to have children and create a life with that, that's something that would happen with that person.
And then I ask, what's the intention from him to you? And all it says is very soon. So potentially there can be a relationship with this. Now, to find out what causes you to create difficulty in life, or the little hidden bumps that we don't pay attention to, is that you have a tendency to retreat, which means that at 4 years old, somebody approached you with this type of energy before, and the only way you learned to cope, handle, deal, or react was to, I want to retreat. So your first mode is you want to retreat, but you soon quickly recover and want to go into, I want to be with this person, but you already sent out the signal that said, I need to disconnect. So now we need to ask, why are you disconnecting?
I think he's the one disconnecting, to be honest with you.
Well, you have to project probably him to do it. Because you probably, again, in the energy field is, if you reacted to this frequency of this person and you're pulling the energy away, and again, it's a give and take. Let's see what she pulls up.
Okay, so this is a time to ask for the highest intentions to replace the old ones. This card happened to be the Arrow Master, so it's the person with arrows. Sometimes a new set of arrows and another target altogether needed, then you can never miss your mark. And so, but it also came up with the third eye, so it's your intuition. And what does your intuition say about this person? What are the intentions that you can see?
Okay, so as you project out that you want it, and maybe the first instinct was for you to retreat, but you quickly recovered and want the relationship, and then he pulls away, is part of a projection. What I see is that the card that I pulled up was that you deserve love. You both deserve love, and there was a sight that, yeah, maybe you guys should, and then there wasn't. So if you wanted to say, now I'm just going to ask directly, is these two people going to be able to have a relationship? No. And it was based on the fact that there's hurt somewhere in both of your paths. So it'll feel like a tug of war with this one. If you pursue it, you can get your heart broken. If you don't pursue it, then you may not be able to, you may miss the opportunity. There's all these things that self-talk, does to us. But be more open to, now give me the second person. Okay, there you go. Now I'm going to ask the same question directly without asking other questions. Is this person someone that she could have a relationship with? No, because it's how I said it, how she could have a relationship with. Does he want a relationship with her? Yes, but he's something about, he's too shy, or he's something, okay, it has to do with mortification. Being that there's the thoughts that can interfere. Oh, I shouldn't do this, that might be wrong. So a lot of self-talk going on about sabotaging, and from both sides. You want love, I can see you want it, but you were hurt. And there was a particular time when you were hurt. Hold on, I've got to figure out what they're saying. 10. I don't know what 22 means. Him or you, or someone else. Huh. Okay, so have you ever had a bad relationship?
Yes.
Okay. And how?
Funny, I met that person when he was 22.
Okay, that's the 20. There's where we're coming in. Okay.
It's been 7 years, but yes.
Okay, so now I'm going to look and say, why is this important? So this is the person. Okay, so what happened then is one reason why you're still you have the energy of retreating. Consciously, as you walk around and you be yourself, you probably will not feel yourself retreat. But the energy says, oh, hell no, we ain't going to this again. But we have to dig a little deeper. In the relationship that you were with this person, did you feel your strength leave you sometime? Or was he feeling like he was shamed and embarrassed and didn't want to do things and stopped growing?
Yeah.
I mean, who is that? You or him? Both?
No, I think him.
Okay. And so what happens is when you meet somebody that has that issue, your first response now is to retreat. So there must be some similarities between that person and the two guys that could be potentials. Yeah, that's what they're saying, is there's something that how you reacted is what you have to heal, so you don't retreat. But the experience that you had is that you still lost power. So there's a part of you that has to resolve that old relationship. And it has nothing to do with really pain and suffering. It has to do with that experience, and you stored it away as a memory. And something about directed. Okay, Jen.
So this emotional, the cards that came up were emotional healing. So Brenda's giving you the backstory, the information on that emotional healing in order for your wish to be granted. And then we've got Gaia's Garden as a challenger, which says that timely effort is called for when Gaia challenges you to help in her garden. So ask not what you will get, but what you can give. You'll be pleasantly surprised by this change of perception. So I think that that's what was going on, was can she have it or can she receive it? So the give and take. Be careful not to procrastinate too much, or the window of your current opportunity might close. Yet even if you do miss this one, as long as you're willing to help in the garden, you will most certainly see another. And also the fact that you're a powerful light worker, so you'll be able to take this healing that Brenda's giving,
and you'll be able to have be in charge of changing, because you're making a choice. The word keeps being directed, so I keep asking what's being directed, and everything's energy. So they're saying the energy of your experience, and then of course you're going to make, because you have an unresolved issue, they're going to be popping up. First I said, was it the emotions that are directing this? No, it's their energy field, and I need to pull up a card that helps me explain this a little bit more. So any of these men in your world, okay, especially at 22, that's the only way I can define him. Did he want children, or did he not want children?
We have children together. We have a
Okay.
child together.
All right, so now we have to understand this, because the child card came up. Okay, so did he use the child as a tool in the breaking up?
You know, maybe, because we haven't been together since she's been born.
Oh.
And she's 4.
Okay, so now I've got to ask a little further in spirit. What are you trying to tell us? Your child comes first, and that's a good thing. What happens is that you do not want to bring another